Hello, everybody. Welcome to what I'm calling a War Thunder seminar. So I have a little bit of free time, I think, right now.
When I go and get Atticus and Aiden.
Dad's picking up Atticus and Aiden.
No, if you had listened to me, I said that I would go pick them up because I need to drop Aiden off at home.
But couldn't Dad have done that?
Because he's still working on your recording.
Oh.
So I'm asking you will do me a favor while I'm doing that.
Yes.
Will you help me take the clothes that are in the bathroom and get them downstairs?
Yes, would you like me to do so right now? I'll be right back in a second.
I'm about to be attacked.
You already argued it.
What? No, downstairs, so I don't have to carry the heavy clothes basket downstairs. Does that make sense? Alright, I'm gonna go get him. Back up, Oliver.
Oliver, she just went to pick up Atticus. You're fine. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. And yeah. So today we're going to be doing a little, oh my god, voice crack and a half. We're going to be doing a sort of seminar type dealio with War Thunder, because I got a bunch of friends who are new to War Thunder and don't really know the nuances of the game and how to play it well and how to like maximize kills or whatever. And if you're looking for maximizing kills, you want to look away for the most part. But like starting up the game, getting situated, which countries to choose, what you want to look for in aircraft or whatever, like best starting country or whatever. Yeah, this is where you'll want to be at. Teach you torpedo bombing, dive bombing, all that fun stuff.
Hello.
Hello. So we so first of all, we're gonna start off with choosing a starting country. So if I recall correctly, you can start off with the 5 main factions, which were the United States, Germany, the USSR, Great Britain, and Japan. So each country, I think they've introduced China, Italy, France, and Sweden as starter countries, but I'm not entirely sure. Alright, let's make sure that okay, good, I haven't been just purely talking to myself or anything. Can y'all hear me good? Stream, or one person that's watching, can you hear me? Just to make sure. If you need sound or anything manipulated with, let me know. I'm just gonna assume that everything's fine, because usually when you assume that everything's fine, things go fine. So we're gonna start off with the 5 base starting countries, which are the United States, Germany, USSR, Great Britain, and Japan. So when starting up the game and that stuff, it'll give you the choose which vehicle you want to start off with. Do you want to start off with like ships, tanks, or planes? We're just gonna go off of planes for a little bit right now, and we'll teach and that stuff. Then we'll switch over to tanks and ships. Um, Oliver, you're Oliver. Stop! You're not our alarm system. Gotta love it when dogs have no concept of object permanence and think, oh, they have left my sight line, they must be gone forever, and then freak out. Um, so when starting off with the countries, you want to know what type of country you're gonna be going down. The United States is a really good, I guess. So the United States, Russia, and Great Britain are like 3 of the top starting countries because of the fact that they immediately started off with uh, fairly powerful aircraft. The starting aircraft of the United States is the P-26 pea shooter. The Russians have the I-15. The Germans have the AC-51. The British begin with the um, Furies and Nimrod. You got 2 Furies and a Nimrod. And then Japan starts off with the Key 10. So, and all of them are like they're extremely similar to each other. They play similarly and whatnot. Please give me a moment. So, the P-26 pea shooters come with standard. Typically, it's either two 7.62 millimeter Browning machine guns, or the P26A 34 M2 comes with one 50 caliber machine gun and one 30 caliber machine gun. Um, by the way, 7.62, that's basically 30 caliber. And man, I'm not doing good at this whole like carrying on like speech, whatever, from the top of my head. Anyway, Germany is got the standard. I think it's what 7.92 millimeter MG17 machine gun. And so the reason why I suggest the United States, Russia, and Great Britain as starting countries is it's not because, you know, allies or whatever, or like patriotism. No, it's not that. It's simply because when flying biplanes, you want good guns to use. So the American 50 and 30 caliber machine guns, mainly the 50 caliber machine gun on the M2, no, on the M2, yeah, P shooter, as well as stuff like the P36 Hawk, the FTF2, the TBD, all these rank 1 aircraft, all these like starter type aircraft, is that the 50 caliber machine gun is extremely good, especially when used against smaller aircraft. The Russians come equipped with their own, you know, thing, and I cannot count how many times I've fallen to like an I-15 because this game was made by Gaijin, which is a company I think based in Russia, and just Russian bias. There's actually not a whole lot of Russian bias, but you know, whatever. Anyway, so it comes with a 7.62 millimeter PV1 machine guns, and it comes with 4 of them. So the fact that these I-15s have 4 machine guns instead of the standard 2 on your reserve aircraft is already an added bonus and an added advantage in a dogfight. Because if you have more guns and you're also like able to turn almost on a dime, then you can usually win gunfights. So now I recommend the British because of the fact that they have the Vickers E machine gun, the 7.7 millimeter machine guns that are scary when they work. So there's one point where I was playing it and I was flying this aircraft, the Nimrod, and I ended up like with only like 7 bullets left. I ended up taking down, I think it was a 109B, because those 7 rounds somehow lit this aircraft on fire. And these British machine guns are scary if they hit the target well, because then they'll just light things on fire like you would not believe. And if you're going down the route of like Germany and whatnot, the reason why I don't recommend like the Axis ones is because number one, the HE51 has these MG17s, and the MG17s are they're okay. They're not the greatest, and they aren't like the best at like taking down slightly more armored aircraft. And the Key 10s are armed with the Type 89 machine gun, which is also like a constant, you know, battle of how many bullets does it take down, you know, another aircraft. The answer with the German and Japanese aircraft, a lot. Like at that point, like you're not shooting them down, you're just filling them with enough lead that they just fall into the ground because of too much weight. So yeah, going through the other countries quick. There's China. Now China basically is like, we've just taken all of your stuff. Like they just have borrowed a bunch of the other countries' vehicles, like I-15s, uh, I-16s, Gladiators. This is the HS-123 is a German aircraft. The Martin is a an American bomber. The I-15 is Russian. Gladiator is British. I think. Was
Can
it?
I play?
That's a good question. Are you talking about like joining me or something? Because I'm not really doing like whole like play with other people at this point because a lot of the people that I was trying to join like they couldn't. So I'm just doing this as a web seminar type thing because I really honestly have nothing to do right now. So,
Yes.
um, I mean, I suppose so, but I'm gonna say not right now because of the fact that one, I'm doing this, and like if I were to like be like, okay, gotta do stuff with a bunch of other people, like it might throw things into a little bit of chaos. And I've got a rhythm right now, and I'm just trying to do this thing, but most likely in a little bit, hopefully they'll still be open, and then you could probably join, but just not right now, if that makes sense. Sorry. Uh, But anyway, back to what I was saying. So then we have the Italians. The Italians are a mixed bag because of the fact that they have a lot of their vehicles have the 12.7 millimeter Beretta machine guns, and these machine guns used to be terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Like you would not want to go near these things if like they were alive and whatnot. But they got nerfed a couple of times. Like it started off like you did not play Italy if you wanted to have sanity, but then it's like you wanted to play Italy if you want to just curb stomp your enemies into a fine powder. And then they're like, "Oh, Italy's gotten too powerful." Oliver, stop crying. There's no need to cry. There is no crying in the club. Anyway, so then they hit it with a good old Nerf hammer. Oliver, please forgive me. Please forgive me for this. Oliver. Oliver, hey, you're okay. Mom will be back. She's just picking Atticus up from basketball practice. Hey, you're okay. Mom will be back. I think I hear her right now. Mom is gonna be back. Don't worry about it. There's no need to cry. Oh, there's Dad.
I'm a little upset. What'd you do with your suit when you're done?
Put it in the back room.
Did you hang it up like you're supposed to?
Please wait for a sec.
And we are back. Thank you for waiting for a little bit. Had to comfort my dog so he didn't, so he wouldn't keep crying because, you know, he's a dork. Anyway, so Italy is a fairly good nation. It's kind of balanced. It's hit or miss, and you never know like which way you're going to, like which side's going to win in the battle. France. France is, you play it for memes because of the fact that it has the most of the early French aircraft have literally basically glitter guns. Like it's like the term that is used is they shoot sparkles. So when you hit an aircraft, like, and it like doesn't do any damage, it'll really just sparkle as it hits the enemy aircraft. And one of my favorite YouTubers, who does War Thunder, Bowtime Gaming, when he was playing with a couple of his friends, they were one of his friends was like, "Sparkles, sparkles, just sparkles." To which the response came, "What are you playing, My Little Pony?" Yeah, France, the best advice that I can give you is you want to. That does not look like a Martin. Anyway, so you want to go down this attacker slash heavy fighter line, which includes the BR 693 AB2, and you want to get to the POTES 630 and 631. Kind of avoid the 633. I mean, I haven't really put any time or effort into the French line because there's really no need. So, yeah. And then here's Sweden. Sweden is an extremely controversial country, like tech tree wise, because you start off with basically a bunch of rip-offs of other countries, and like you don't put out too much damage, but like there's also the whole thing of, you know, you can and will hold your own in fights for the most part. And then you get to the J22 and the J21 line. The J22/21 line are just infuriating in a nutshell, because the J22 it flies like a A6M0, has guns that, as basically machine guns that are like borderline cannons, flies like a zero and fights like heavy aircraft and whatnot. And then you get the J21, and the J21 is, let's just show you. So for example, this is the J21A. It's got one 20mm cannon and four 13.2mm machine guns in this nose here. So that's a lot of millimeters of lead firing into one condensed area. It is terrifyingly fast, terrifyingly maneuverable, and will rip apart anything it wants to in seconds. And then there's also the whole the T18/B18 line, which is just like they took a design and just like they basically pulled an iPhone and was like, oh, if it works, like just make it and just make tiny changes, and then release the crap into them. So we're gonna. So now that you know like the whole countries and whatnot of like aircraft, don't worry, we'll get to the tanks here in a little bit. Don't worry about that. So we're gonna give a whole like brief synopsis of like, I guess, what the aircraft handle like. So I'm just gonna pick like mostly a stereotypical aircraft or two from each country, and we'll take them out for test flights. So number one, we're gonna be taking out one of the most famous aircraft from the United States, which is the P-51. Going to be in realistic battles because this is the game mode or game type that you'll probably be playing a lot of. Well, not test flight, but in realistic battles. There's three main modes in War Thunder that you can play. for each uh, country, which is um, as arcade, realistic, and simulator. Arcade is you it's very, arcade, just run and gun type style, little to no tactics. You can, be as insane and like uncaring of your aircraft and whether or not it'll like be flight worthy as you want. Everything realistic is you have when you're when you're flying arcade, you have multiple lives. So like if you have say 5 airplanes, you can take each one of those 5 airplanes out to battle until you either crash, you get shot down, or whatever. Realistic is you pick the plane that you want. You hop into a battle and you have that one life to fly that one plane. If you get shot down or crash or die in that aircraft, uh, you end up losing that life. You run out of ammo. You have limited ammo, limited fuel. Your aircraft flight model is much more realistic and like much more canonical to how the aircraft actually was. Like the P-51 Mustang, especially the C-type, it was fairly fast. It was fairly agile, but like in a turn fight with say a BF-109 E series or Spitfire, it's going to lose handily in a turn fight. It doesn't roll too amazingly, but you can do like some weird maneuvers with it, whatnot. And your engine can overheat, so you have to always watch that. You can tell like what's going on in the top left corner. So like the THR stands for throttle. That's how much power you're putting into your engine. SPD obviously stands for speed. You can have it in kilometers per hour or miles per hour. The ALT stands for altitude. Again, you can put that in feet, meters, or kilometers. MG, that stands for machine gun. That's how much ammo you have total. Dang, that was pilot sniped him. Yep, I pilot sniped him. Fuel obviously stands for fuel. Oil, water, that's the temperature of your aircraft. If it's running in the yellow or red or whatever, if it's running in the red, then that means that your aircraft is too hot. And my PlayStation is about to explode because whenever you get behind a aircraft and they start getting all that oil and gunk and stuff on your windshield, it decides to say, hey, too much, we're gonna blow up your PlayStation. Now, also the temperatures could be changed to Celsius, Fahrenheit. I think Kelvin as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. Oliver, do not sniff my leg. Weird dog.
I walk in and you say weird dog.
No, he walks up to me and starts sniffing my leg for no reason. So he's telling Oliver that he was a weird dog.
Well, do you want me to pick up something or give him wings then, and I won't go with you.
Yeah, this P-51. Yeah. So, again, this is stereotypical American type aircraft where it's fairly heavy. It can take a bit of a beating. It can, you know, dish out punishment like crazy, as you saw on those poor P-40s. And it's an all-around solid country with the main things being protection and survivability, and the fire-breathing 50s, as I call them, over, you know, over like super speed and like extreme maneuverability. He's in his room. Let's then grab. We'll grab the Hellcat. That's right, I don't have any.
Alright, do you want to run into Sioux Falls with me into Walmart?
No. Sorry. Yeah. So, then go down to Germany next. We'll grab a 109 and just show that off. Yeah. This is the F4F4 Hell, the not F4F F6F Hellcat. I'm sure I'll be, you know, getting into trouble with anybody who like notices that. But anyway, yeah. Built by Grumman to replace the F4F4. This is basically like if the F4F4 Wildcat took steroids and listened to extremely intense music and then proceeded to take over half the country. Not super maneuverable compared to like something like an A6M0, but the thing about this is it is much faster, much more maneuverable, much better than the Wildcat. It was actually the aircraft that ended up, I think it had, almost 5,000 kills total, shot down by the Hellcat during the war. That's a beautiful screenshot. I have to go back and do this and take this. So I'm gonna give a brief opportunity. I'm gonna take the brief opportunity here to talk about like the whole nuances of let's just do like ground attacking and whatnot. So if you're starting off on War Thunder, you'll be playing arcade battles and whatnot, and that'll be primarily focused around ground attacking. So I forgot to set the gun targeting distance to the right distance for ground attacking. I have it set to something more like dogfighting like. But so when you're flying around, you've got the little crosshair, and that's where your guns will be pointed at. You got the like circle thing. And the circle thing is, you know, where you've got your mouse aimed and whatnot. And if you're playing on something like console, it won't show up. You won't have the circle. You just have the crosshair or whatever. I am playing on PS4, but because I don't want to try and have to relearn how to play on a controller, I'm just gonna mute. I just have a mouse and keyboard. If you're playing on mouse and keyboard, you'll want to listen up to this. So, to control the aircraft, you have the forward W and S are to control the throttle. You can also use the scroll wheel to control it in much more finer detail. And then there's A and D to control ailerons. Those are the things that are waggling right now that'll allow you to, you know, turn the wings and whatnot, like do barrel rolls and all that fun stuff. And then you have Q and E, which control the rudder, allow you to drift in midair. Then there's and then you have to typically map this one, but there's the elevator controls. So utilizing like just elevate, like you can just use elevator and aileron to do more refined turns. I want that one. And everything like that. You can change the controls to however you want, whenever you want, in the controls menu. Show you that here in a little bit. Typically, to fire weapons, like machine guns and whatnot, it's left click, and then you'll have to, and then right click is using in and out. And yeah, when they work all together and that stuff, it becomes, you know, you become a deadly flying machine, quite literally. And once you've gotten the hang of it, you can do like fun, cool stuff like this, flying upside down, flying really, really low. See if I can. I'm gonna try and make it through one of these little hangars here. I gotta try to make it through there. Okay, almost made it through. This is fine, it'll just buff out. It'll probably be fine. So yeah, that's America. These are some of the like nuances of the things. War Thunder, what they'll do is they'll actually give you these tutorials and go through the tutorials to do that, and a lot of it is, as I believe it was the Russian Badger once said, you go through the tutorials, get the basics down and whatnot, and then after that you just continue to press buttons until, like, you know, the amount of times that you successfully shoot down enemies versus the amount of times you crash into the ground is, like, substantially different from each other. Running over to Germany here, let's just grab let's play with the this uh brick FW90. I'm gonna put it to 500, and yeah, Germany, it's once you get out of the like lower vehicles like the 109B1s, the 1851s, all those things, then you get to the stuff with the cannons, and that's when Germany becomes interesting to say the least. The German, when flying German aircraft, they have terrifyingly good rates of climb. So they climb very well and like get up to higher altitudes very well. They kind of had to fight off American bombers. Like for this one, the American would be like about 300 feet lower than me right now. And they had 20mm cannons. And typically, they loaded up the cannons with a type of special ammunition that was essentially airburst explosive anti-air. They were anti-aircraft cannon shells, so they exploded in the air. I don't have them loaded up on this one. And the whole point of when you're flying Germany, you're gonna want to do what's called zoom. Wait, did I just put it? I just got a double jump. wounded. Some rounds. This isn't Boom and Zoom, by the way. Boom Zoom typically is you get up at a high altitude, much higher than your enemies, and you dive down on them continuously. So I'm gonna try that here in a second. On this one chicken one, like for example, you do something like this. You come in and you attack them from behind. Maintain your speed. Get to higher altitude. Drop down on your targets, like so. Yeah, he's not pulling up. Yeah. The cannons typically are pretty good, especially if you got the explosive ammunition installed. And yeah, maneuverability wise, not the greatest, unless, especially if you're like a 109 going up against, say, a Spitfire, you're gonna lose that fight immediately. But really good at energy retention, really good at like diving and attacking, and it has pretty good speed for the most part. Heading over to the USSR. I'm gonna have to use one of the aircraft here because I've not put enough time into the rest of the tree. Let's go with the or I could actually no, I'm just gonna use something like this, the Lag 3. So the Russians, pretty good, I'd say. Like the I-15s and the biplanes are scary. Like, there's a joke, it's like, you never leave a Chaika alive, otherwise it could, like, destroy your entire team. If it wanted to. I have no idea what my father's watching, and honestly, I don't want to know. There's always those two LA-5s that crash on takeoff. Or crash, like, over there. And there's always that good old graphical glitch over there where it's like floating shrubs. The Russians have typically the 30mm, no, 30 caliber machine gun, and the 20mm cannon. Not a whole lot of ammo into these things. They are fairly beefier than most other countries' aircraft, but they fly like bricks, but can hit like bricks as well. You can actually does not have any ammunition to save its life. for the most part. Yeah. Again, as I've said, with the United States and whatnot, good all-around type brawler aircraft that can get into fights and hold their own for the most part. It's just, it does not have a massive ammo capacity, so you gotta learn how to be accurate, and the Russians will teach you how to hit shots with increased accuracy. They're also really good as they're really good at low-level dogfighting. If you take them like up into like the cloud layer and whatnot, like at higher altitudes, you're gonna struggle a lot. Whereas if you keep them down low on the deck, they retain energy much better. They turn a lot easier when it's at lower altitudes, and it's just, yeah. We'll hop to a little bit of combat here in a second. So don't worry about that. Make some proper combat. We'll just be using bots for that, but yeah. Yeah. So again, the Russians all around pretty good country. They also have terrifyingly good climb rates though, and retain energy really well unless they're in constant turn fights. So you don't want to be turn fighting with enemies too much. Alright. Great Britain. Again, good starting country. These aircraft are pretty maneuverable, pretty easy to hold your own, easy to fight things. If you're doing something like and then you get to like something like a Spitfire or a Hurricane, and they are terrifying. Spitfire, really good, really fun aircraft to fly. Yeah, I'm gonna just do like descriptions of like the things for the rest, and then I'll get like proper combat. Japan, extremely maneuverable aircraft, can outturn you in seconds, but the thing is it is if you don't have the cannons, then it's just pew 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 pew, and that's about all you can do. China, like most of them, just the same things with the other countries. Like the vehicles from the other countries are just in here, just Chinese models, except for stuff like the CW21, and that's an American design, I think. Stuff like that, but like something like a CW21 or a more specialized, I guess. The B11, I think this is the Texan. I think it's a Texan, not entirely sure. Yeah. Italy, I've already given you a description of that one. Seems like it's France, whatnot. Yeah. So, let's hop to custom match. Just grab grab China for a little bit. Or yeah, let's just use China for a little bit. So yeah, gonna be. Actually, no. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna play a little bit of arcade battles, and like do that stuff, so that way you get like taste of combat against actual people. We'll be using Sweden because I need to get more Swedish stuff. I really hope that I don't get like copyright striked for this, for like what's going on in the background, because that would, one, be really dumb, and two, be really stupid. Alright, air arcade battles. So this will be like what you'll be doing mostly at the start. It's easy, a lot of chaotic insanity and whatnot. Yeah. You'll be going against both bots and real people to start off, and like I said, its flight models are a lot more simple, are a lot like crazier and whatnot. With the gun targeting to 300. So we'll use this one first. This is the B-17. It's a Swedish float plane slash dive bomber. Fairly good at its job. Was kind of phased out there earlier in the war due to the fact that, you know, tinier, not, you know, most amazing, incredible aircraft. Okay, looks like I will not be going to go and fight the fight with the B-10. We're doing the B-10. Those things are turrets. Yep. Gonna let him do his thing for now. Alright. I'm gonna do the thing that I'm supposed to do when flying bombers, and that is take down vehicles. So this whole line of vehicles is gonna be done. So in air combat in arcade battles, there's this little lead indicator that'll show you where you should shoot your guns to hit the targets. There's also this massive reticle here on the bottom. It's your bomb indication spot. Show you where you're supposed to be dropping bombs. Fairly good bomb run. fighter on me. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You do not want to dogfight me. Oh my god, I do not have airspeed. Now, typically I wouldn't be doing this, but it's arcade battle, so who really cares? There we go. Oh, go underneath the be taking out the rest of the ground forces here in a second. I'll flip around and finish off that last one. So this is typically what you'll be playing at the lower tiers. It's a lot of like not focusing on what's good for the team and more focusing on like kills, gotta kill stuff. Yay! So yeah, that's just natural when like people start playing this stuff. Ooh, this is a really dumb maneuver in front of like half of the enemy team. But sometimes stupidity wins wars. Nope, just wins you a trip to the morgue. Luckily, we have another bomber. Yay! We can even get into combat quick enough to pull their numbers. We need these other bombers up here gone. And I mean, ASAP. Don't you dare try and run away from me. Oh, we just lost that game. Yep, knew it. Just barely lost it. Oh well, it's fine. Anyway, so yeah. Unfortunately, due to the fact that it's arcade battles, you don't get a whole lot for what you do. Like, I could have gotten, like, I would only get 1,000. Well, if I were to do that and, like, hit 9 ground target vehicles and whatnot, then I would have gotten, like, in realistic battles, would have gotten, like, 1,000 for, or 2 for that. You get a lot more for, like, doing things in realistic battles. But you want to always start out with arcade first, due to the fact that, well, it's more difficult to play realistic. We'll play one more of arcade, and then we'll switch over to realistic battles. Like I said, realistic battles take a lot longer, or a lot more drawn out, complicated, but they're a lot more fun, especially if you have teammates who are not incompetent for the most part, and if you've and if you're able to fly well. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying what you're watching, please let me know. 'Cause, yeah, I try my best. We're just gonna go with the M40. And we'll use the B-17B instead of the B-17B float plane. Oh dear Christ, we just got up here. So if you notice, when you're in the menus and whatnot, if you see stuff like 1.3, 1.7, whatnot, that is what's called a battle rating. The way that this game works is if you've got like a certain battle rating, like this is 1.3, you'll typically fight things like, you'll fight a lot lower things. Whereas if you're got something like, I don't know, 4.7, you'll be fighting things like 4.7, 4.3, sometimes 3.7, and you'll also be fighting things like 5.3, so like, say the P40, no, not P40. We'll use something like, I really freaking don't know. Okay, we're gonna try and take out this P40. How about this BT-100? Actually, we're not, because I'm not done. But like, basically you fight things in like the realm of where your battle rating is. So sometimes you got fight bigger, scarier planes, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you fight like smaller, dinkier planes, sometimes you don't. I'll try and jump this J8. What the fuck? There's no way it burnt down. The fire went out. Holy crap. Oh, man. You lit me on fire, you know. So arcade battles, everything lights on fire essentially. 9 times out of 10, like, everything will be on fire. I didn't have the anti-air rounds equipped. That's where I went wrong. Alright, gonna try and hit, like, those, ground troops down there, and then we'll see what we can do after that. What? Okay, there's a PE3 in this battle as well, apparently, so that'll be fun to have to go against. And that P26 has a death wish. There we go. We have another person. Yay, we're not completely alone.
Hello, Zabacus.
Hello, how are you? Watch the pattern, watch the pattern. I told you everything lights on fire in arcade.
What's your favorite Nathan?
My favorite... Okay, you're just chilling on the couch, Oliver. And I'm playing with that. My favorite nation? This is like, you know, of course, but America, because it's actually really a good all-around country. Not the greatest in terms of, stuff like, you know, like turn fighting, but they don't need to be the greatest turn fighters when they've got fire-breathing fatalities. That TBD is in the danger zone.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Told ya. In arcade battles, everything lights on fire. Where's that? It's the plane is still doing loopy loops. How are we today? Just chilling out. How are you? I feel kind of bad. That was a bit of a kill steal. But at the same time, probably would have done the exact same thing to me. Oh, that is dirty. I feel bad for doing that. Aw. But hey, I got, you know, multiple kills, and everything loved to light on fire. Might just be grinding the Swedish tree for a little while longer. Say, frick it, why not? Yeah, only, that's 5 kills, 5 ground targets destroyed, 3 crits, 33 hits, activity of 91%, only 689 research points. Arcade, like, that's where it gets really grindy, so that's why you want to typically transfer over to realistic battles. Um, we'll do... We'll fly the B-17B. No, shit. Alright. This is gonna be realistic battles. So this is 1 life. Your plane, you know, acts proper. If you go too fast, then your plane will break apart. If you hit, like, step on the gas for too long, your plane will overheat. All that stuff. But the thing is even if, like, your plane overheats and, like, you die, if you've done something, like, damage a base or whatever, you'll get lots of XP, you'll get lots of all that stuff. probably also put a booster on. Come on, you can do it. You process that operation. I believe in you. There you go. Good job. I'll just activate this 75 booster now, just because why the hell not? And we just sit and wait. It'll work here eventually, don't worry. Probably. I love how it's a 2-engine bomber, frontline bomber, dive bomber. I'm trying to get the J-22A because, again, it's a fairly scary aircraft. Alright, we're going to cancel that operation. Also, this aircraft right here, freaking terrifying. It'll eat you for lunch. Same thing with that one. This one I'm not entirely sure about, but yeah, Alright, let's try again. This time with feeling. There's 11 people trying to play America in 1.3. Realistic. So riveting gameplay. Gotta love the whole waiting in menu. Wow, whilst we're waiting in menu. No, damn it. Alright, come on. F-16, that would be 8 versus 8. We just add, oh, there's 21. There's 47,508 online as of right now, with 1,248 battles. Hopefully a couple of these will get done. Otherwise, I don't know. Probably have to switch to a different to a different like faction or whatever, or like switch up the vehicles. I don't want to do that because I want to get some stuff on this thing upgraded. Because you gotta play the games to get the things upgraded, and you need to get the things upgraded to play more games, and it's lovely catch-22. Okay, You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I can't really play music because I'd probably get like copyright striked or something. That's 62 people. Now it's 31. That's more than enough to do a game. Like, we only really need like maybe a max of 20 to play low levels. Now it's 22. 30. Let's try this again from the top. This time actually do the things. God. I'd have to switch to J20. Alright, that's it. We're switching countries. Alright, might as well play a little bit of I guess play. I want to get this buffalo spaded, but the thing is it's much more sluggish, and due to the fact that Gaijin is always like, we must balance out the things. They basically only put it so it's like the United States and Japan versus every other country, typically. So it's like difficult to do things well if you don't have a good top of the line type aircraft, and it's just a whole mess, and then some. Like, it's actually. This one is it's a lot slower, but not. It's chubby. If that makes sense. It's not like. It's not the greatest. Ooh. Might as well take out the TBF. Get some upgrades on that. I really want the torpedo on that one. No idea how long we've been streaming, but that's okay. It'll probably be fine. How much do we got? Oh crap! I accidentally slapped my mic. Oh, that's the Mark 13. We don't want that. We want the improved torpedo. We're gonna research the torpedo first. This TBF here is basically stock. By the way, if you're wondering what the TBF is, it's the. If you've ever heard of Flight 19, it was the famous flight of TBF Avengers that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. They still use them as a small firefighting aircraft in Canada, I think, to this day. Hopefully this will go better and quicker. If not, then, well, crap. Probably also be facing like a bunch of, like, every other country versus Japan and America. That's how it always turns out. And it's very, very frustrating. There we go. We actually have a game session. God damn it. I don't want maps like this. Why can't I ever have a United States versus Japan in the Pacific. Not freaking whoever versus whoever over central Tunisia. Nobody cares about Tunisia. Tunisia can pound sand. Or just pound itself. What is this? Oh dear Christ. Oh, okay. So, historically accurate-ish team makeup, at least. So I can get behind that. Stop trying to break into father's room. Yes, father. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people of the internet, Atticus? Your what? Your butt hurt? Well, you need some itching cream or something? Okay, just checking. Yeah, apparently there's just two peoples. It's like a whole web seminar type thing that I was doing. I could try and go fight those J-87s, but this thing is not a dogfighter, to say the least. So, what we're gonna do is, instead, we're gonna go after... And the Swordfish got shot down by anti-aircraft. Who would have thought? So, now here's the nuances of bombing. First of all, don't be diving or going into a massive flak field of aircraft and death and destruction like that guy did. Second, this is your bomb site. So in realistic battles, aircraft that are like typically used for level bombing and did that stuff, so I think it's based off of the, I think it's called the Norden bomb site. Oh, I have new followers. XB Face X. Yay. You need to also, they released a feature like way back when, which is like, you got to, god damn it. Alright, so I guess now we're going after the enemy air base, which is over to the left here. Hopefully those will hit by the time that they're done repairing down there. Alright. Took about a quarter of the health off the enemy air base. It's very, very good. Just like this doesn't have the airbags. Oh dear God, Hampton, what are you doing? Oh dear God, the sword fit. Okay, I guess the bombers are turning into dogfighters now. Okay, I'm gonna try and let them know that I called Brandon as the one that I'm gonna take down. Oh, that poor F3F. Never mind, there's the end of the game. Never mind. Here's the end of the game. I think much more stuff from that than I did the arcade battle, but that's fine. Also, by the way, just to let you know, trying to go from like 16, 17-ish thousand feet to 600, 700-ish feet. Not the smartest, especially in an Avenger. There we go. Now it loaded. Alright. We're gonna do like one more battle and then we're gonna call it a night. I'm gonna focus. Yeah, I got so much more for some. Wow, look at that. So we're gonna get that compressor. I want that improved torpedo. There we go. Now I got the torpedo. Wow, just getting like 4 bombs on an enemy airfield got us like enough to get not only get the regular torpedo but the upgraded one, so that way it isn't terrible. Because the American torpedoes at the beginning of the war were terrible. I think they let us get it. We'll see. Yes, they did. That's good. That's very, very, very good. Might could maybe just try and spade out the rest of the um spade the Avenger. Spading an aircraft, that means is that you get all of the upgrades for said aircraft. So like the F2A1 I have spaded, so it's got all the upgrades and modifications to it. You can like go around and play with crew stuff. Which one was the one where I have like really good What is it, Oliver? Oliver, you need to stop jumping on that chair. You're gonna throw yourself out the window accidentally. Jesus Christ, you crazy, crazy dog. Alright, please give me a moment. Oliver, hey. There's no reason for you to be crying. There's no reason for you to be crying, okay? Did you just see Mom parking up or something? Oliver, you're just fine. Alright, we're gonna call this one the last round of the night. And then, yeah. Would you make sure that he isn't bawling his eyes out, Atticus? That is to fly timidly and you won't get very far. Like, as you saw, I was attempting to drop from, like... I basically had to drop from the atmosphere, like, up really high to down low to try and get the enemy aircraft. To try and dogfight the Stuka. And was trying to make sure that I didn't rip my wings off. I hate this map! Why is it always like, you're gonna play on the opposite side of the world from where you should be flying or playing, and oh well, the way we hate your face. Hi. This is a PBM, so we're safe. What? Alright, we're gonna head for our right base. And we're gonna bomb that and kill it and make sure it's good and dead. Bomber. Alright, yep, knew it. Japan and America versus almost every other country. The only country that's missing from that list is China. Yeah. Germany, Russia, Britain, France, Sweden. Oh no, and then Italy and China are the only two countries that are missing from that list. Oh dear Christ, those are that's 109s and a lot of IL-2s. Oh, dang it. The Russians are at our altitude, I meant to say. There's a dot trailing smoke coming up from me. There's one in front of me. Oh dear Christ. Well, that didn't work. Let's bail out at least. I just wish that what they do is like they'd all stay down low and dogfight and do their own thing, and let the bombers at least have a little bit of fun and do something instead of just like, oh, your bomber, just immediately like nail them. Because it's no fun when you just get taken out at the very beginning of the match. Well, I'm gonna probably wrap up here and do something else. So thank you all very, very much for watching. This is like a little bit of a seminar mixed with like a little bit of gameplay, not too exciting, not too crazy or nothing, but yeah. So I'll bid you all adieu. Goodbye.